everyone, welcome again to one of our Ines Pires talks. Today we have a very special guest. We have Mahmoud Al-Wahibi and Sheila Hussein, that they are the co-founders of Oman Think Urban. It's quite interesting association, focus on ethnographic and urban planning, and we're going to see how they plan. It's quite interesting how they plan urban planning and the use of national branding and soft diplomacy. Stay here. For example, for our public, the people that actually are watching this show now, maybe it's a bit vague in the sense of what means ethnographic urban planning. So, for example, the normal community of our network around the world, they come from communication, from the areas of professional PR people from decision makers as well. We have, so what we can say in terms of added value, what is the added value of your association? What is actually, what do you bring to the table?
The main idea is how can we translate the use value of a place with the actual planning, terms that are happening for any project. So we have, say, like a mosque is mainly for praying, but over here in Oman, a mosque is actually a social experience. It is where you actually have an exchange with the community. So simple things like this may seem like common knowledge to the community, but they really are completely alien to other cultures and to other organizations that operate here and are actually the forming the planning teams. So then what we are doing with ethnography is basically really just people-based research. It is just sociological research, meaning that we really ask the people about their lifestyles, about the way they do things and how, and once we understand and decode their rituals, we start to understand how they're connected to the spaces. And when they say that I go for a wedding, that it's not to a wedding hall, but maybe it's actually that entire social space and all the streets and all the various homes connected to it. So that's kind of what we are trying to decode out of ethnography, and that's what we would mean with it.
Thank you so much, Sheila. This is quite interesting because at the end of the day, we are creating community centers. So if we have children, of course, they're not going to run in the middle of a street or Sultan Qaboos street. So to prepare the planning towards what we want to achieve to our private communities at the same time. This is wonderful. Congratulate for both of you.
Thank you so much.
I have one last question that actually wraps up all before actually I will hear some of your experiences. Can Mahmoud tell me, please, in our community, what is the impact of urban planning as well in the approach of national branding? It's one of the biggest concepts that is needed to attract foreign investors.
Yes.
What do you believe this is important?
Yes. So when you think about cities and when you think about national branding, cities actually do serve historically, and then even now and in the future as projectors of power and then also projectors of economic importance. So a good example of that, when the US have any sort of, let's say, a big decision regarding any other country, they would refer to the US as Washington DC. So that they would refer to the city as that place that project the diplomatic ties and the diplomatic relation of that country to the world. When it comes to the urban planning and how you could attract investments like through branding, urban planning actually do shape and then formulate a city in a certain way, giving the vision of that country to promote and reflect a certain image. That image could be a cultural image of the people, or it could be purely an economic image, like what Dubai and Singapore have done.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, correct.
Yeah. So within that kind of system that I've talked about, where Oman Think Urban fits. Oman Think Urban, try to dig deeper into the community connection with the city, and then try to reflect people identity as also a form of branding, that would, brand that city in a certain way. So, I mean, for example, Chicago is always, known for being a city of that deep dish pizza, or let's say, Paris is known for its, like good wine and cheese. So, but that is an image not projected by the government. Is actually an image projected by the culture of people who live in that city. And that, slowly but surely become a brand for that particular space.
Thank you so much for this sharing. I think it's quite interesting to match the brand with the diplomacy, with the community, and especially relationships among people. Something at last, do you like to share something about your association? You'd like to share something extra that I don't know of?
So I think one of the main things that I would like to reflect what Oman Think Urban is all about, and that shared message that Shehla and I have is that representation of the local community within the planning process, it would in fact enhance the decision of decision makers to make better decision to serve people, and then at the same time to brand that city or that urban setting in its proper way. When we say a proper way, like we means that truly reflects the soul of that city, which is the people. Think about, when I think of a city, I think about a body and a soul. So what is a body for a city? It is the built infrastructure. And then what is the soul of the city? Is the people. So what you reflect within that body, you reflect the soul. And who are the soul of the city? Are the people. So we, in Oman Think Urban, we try to reflect that soul of the city to the decision makers, so they would make a better judgment to soothe that soul and the body, of course.
And just to add what Mahmoud so eloquently put forward is it's actually embedding the soul of the people into all this physical planning aspects of every place that Oman is trying to develop for the future.
So with these notes, we close our Ines Pires talks about urban planning. Thank you so much, Ella. Thank you so much, Mahmoud, for this insightful information. I think is going to be very valuable for our listeners and viewers. It's a new topic, and how we can apply those relationships and how we can build all together a better world at the end of the day. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching this Ines Pires Talk session, very insightful one. We see each other here next month with something new. Meanwhile, please just subscribe to this channel and receive more content. Have a great month.